You ever had a morning so wild you forget your own name? Picture this. I'm standing on my back deck, 8 a.m., sharp, just trying to enjoy a cup of black coffee, watching the mist slide off Clearwater Lake like ghosts, thinking today's going to be the kind of peaceful Saturday my grandfather always promised. And then here they come, 4 giant charter buses barreling up my gravel driveway, belching diesel, shaking my windows and unloading what looks like the cast of Rich Folks Gone Wild right onto my private dock. Coolers, fishing rods, fancy Yeti tumblers, folks in golf polos, they spread out like they own the place. And right in front, teetering on $800 designer heels that are already sinking in the mud, is Veronica Blackwell, our so-called HOA president. She struts up to the water's edge like she's unveiling Cinderella's castle, barking orders, Marcus. You cannot block community access. This is community property. Her voice sharp enough to set off car alarms. And that's the hook, right? That moment you realize, oh hell, this isn't going to be just another neighborly spat. This is war. 18 months, y'all. 18 months, this woman's been trying to steal my lakefront faking surveys, hiring bully lawyers, selling lake lifestyle to every sucker with a checkbook. She brought an army. This time probably thought I'd just slink away. But she forgot one tiny thing. I'm a retired firefighter, and I read property deeds for fun. So buckle up. Let me back up a sec and tell you how we got here, how I went from lakefront dreamer to public enemy #1 on Veronica's hit list. My name's Marcus Presley. 45 gray at the temples, more wrinkles than I care to count, but I'll tell you what I know my property lines. My granddad left me this 2-acre piece of heaven on Clearwater Lake House. Is a little crooked dock's got history and every bored honeysuckle growing wild along the shore. After he passed, I put every dime of my pension, $180,000, into buying up the empty lots next door just to keep the view and the peace. Another $25K went into rebuilding the dock, sinking fish habitats, making it the kind of place grandkids brag about at school. Now, maybe I'm weird, but I actually like reading land surveys and title records. Years in the fire service teach you the details matter. So I knew exactly what I owned. Problem was, I was about to find out just how far some people will go to take what isn't theirs. See, Pine Ridge used to be a quiet, blue-collar spot. 47 homes, modest dues, neighbors who'd shovel your driveway before their own. But in comes the money crowd. And up jumps Veronica Blackwell, real estate queen president of the HOA, lives in a house with more marble than the county courthouse. Drives a white BMW, wears enough gold to blind a fisherman at sunrise. She starts selling the lakefront lifestyle, but here's the kicker: she's promising buyers exclusive access to my dock. It started small. 6 months after my renovations, I catch her giving a community tour on my lawn. She's got strangers snapping pics of my dock like it's the Eiffel Tower. Oh, Marcus, just showing the Pattersons our shared lake access, considering the Morrison house, you know. That's when I taste that metallic anger at the back of my throat. But she didn't stop. Soon, every Saturday, more strangers. Facebook posts talking about our beautiful shared waterfront. House listings bragging about private lake access. Folks start complaining to me, said they paid extra for water rights that don't exist. I'm watching my peaceful little dock turn into the centerpiece of a scam. And the breaking point, I come home to 15 strangers grilling burgers on my front lawn, kids cannonballing off my dock cars everywhere. Veronica's there with her clipboard, acting like the queen at a ribbon cutting. I realized right then this wasn't some silly misunderstanding. She was running a full-blown real estate con using my land as her cash cow. So I did what any sane person would do. I got mad and then I got methodical, but Veronica doubled down. Formed a lakefront access committee, her 2 neighbors she bribed with discounted dues. Their first act, scheduling a welcome party for the new resident, Dr. Patricia Hawkins, on my dock without even asking. I learned about it through Facebook. Bring a dish to share. Yeah, right. That Saturday, I camped out on my porch with a cold beer and my phone waiting to see the circus roll in. 25 cars on my grass bounce house on my dock. Swear to God, a bounce house. And when Veronica struts up smiling like a cat in cream, tells me everyone's excited to enjoy our community amenity, I about lost it. I told her loud enough for half the county to hear, "This is private property. You're trespassing." She leans in, voice dripping venom. "Don't embarrass yourself, Marcus. We have traditional access rights." Good thing I'd done my homework. I pulled out my phone, scrolled through the county records, and explained for all to hear, easements have to be documented. There's no community access recorded anywhere for this dock. People started listening, especially when I pointed out that her house listings promised legal rights she couldn't deliver. Then the real twist, Dr. Hawkins herself walked up, looking mortified. "Veronica told me lake access was part of my home purchase," I asked. "She swore it was all documented. She showed me the MLS listing, clear as day, exclusive community lakefront private dock privileges." Folks around us started to realize this wasn't just about a party, it was fraud. Veronica panicked, threatened to call the county on me for unpermitted modifications. I grinned and said, "Please do, everything's permitted, but maybe they'll want to talk about fraudulent real estate listings while they're at it." And that my friends was round one. Veronica went nuclear, called an emergency meeting about lakefront access equity, packed the community center with 43 angry residents, put together a PowerPoint labeled "My Dock" as a proposed community asset, claimed I was hoarding amenities, brought in a slick lawyer, Robert Michaels, who blathered about implied easements and historical usage. But I knew the law. In Virginia, you need 20 years of open hostile use to even start talking about implied easement. Mrs. Patterson just let kids fish sometimes, no rights there. Murmurs spread. Then Frank Morrison, a neighbor who's been around longer than Veronica, stood up. "Nobody ever claimed that dock as community property. You're rewriting history." Susan Walsh, our treasurer, suddenly dropped the hammer Veronica had paid for legal consultations from our emergency fund without authorization. The room erupted. You could feel her grip slipping, but she still had cards to play. Next thing I know, event trucks show up on my lawn, setting up a Pine Ridge lakefront festival. Food truck sound system signs, the whole works. Veronica announced it all over Facebook. $50 a ticket proceeds for neighborhood improvements. Invited Channel 7 News. You gotta admire the gall. I spent the morning making calls, learning Veronica signed contracts using HOA credentials for a venue she didn't own my dock. That's straight up fraud. By noon, the festival's in full swing, crowds streaming and news cameras rolling. So I grabbed a chair, a thermos, and my phone, hit the live stream, marched out, and announced to the whole crowd, "Welcome to my private property. Just so you know, this event is completely unauthorized, and everyone here is technically trespassing." A Channel 7 reporter shoved a mic in my face. I told them on record that Veronica was defrauding buyers, forging permits, stealing from families. Then someone in the crowd yelled, "Where's my refund?" And it was game over. People turned on her demanding answers. That moment, seeing her realize she lost the crowd, sweeter than honeysuckle on a May morning. But wait, it gets wilder. My attorney buddy David Kim calls. He dug into public records. Turns out Veronica was running a multi-state scheme. She collected $3,000 amenity fees from every new buyer for guaranteed lake access, totaling $45,000 in 3 years. Worse, she'd listed my dock as an HOA asset on insurance, lowering premiums, illegally classic insurance fraud. If anyone got hurt at her events, insurance would bail, leaving all 47 families on the hook. And she'd done this before in North Carolina and Tennessee, fled both places right before getting nailed. Now it was federal. We had 3 days before the insurance company pulled coverage and mortgage companies started calling loans. So we went nuclear, called the FBI. The state AG froze her assets and prepped for a public takedown. My living room turned into a command center, maps, laptops, coffee documents everywhere. David coordinated legal filings. Susan, our treasurer, produced 3 years' worth of evidence, unauthorized payments, shell accounts, the works. Agent Patricia Thompson from the State Insurance Fraud Division walked in with a case file thick as a phone book. She'd been tracking Veronica for months. We set the trap a public HOA meeting with media and residents. Veronica tried everything, hired a white-collar defense lawyer with HOA money, sent me threatening letters, had her son smash my dock structures, then tried to frame me for harassment. Posted fake complaints online, dropped anonymous threats in mailboxes, all the textbook intimidation moves. But every act just built a stronger federal case. The climax. That Saturday HOA meeting packed wall to wall. Veronica strolls in with security guards face like stone, tries to spin the crowd with her usual speech. I built this community. This is all a conspiracy. I'm the victim. Then I stood up, binder in hand, Agent Thompson at my side. I read the charges: mail fraud wire, fraud insurance fraud, racketeering. Gasps all around. Agent Thompson confirmed it. Veronica tried to grab the mic, started shrieking, but Susan produced 3 years of financial records. You stole $23,000 from us. You lied to every family in this room. The weight of it hit her. She tried to threaten to take the whole community down, but Agent Thompson was already moving, cuffs in hand. The applause as they let her out never heard anything sweeter. 6 months later, sun's rising over Clearwater Lake. My coffee tastes like freedom honeysuckle, sweeter than ever. Veronica pled out 4 years in federal prison, $127,000 restitution, banned from real estate in 12 states. Our insurance premiums went down, every defrauded family got their money back, and Susan Walsh is our new HOA president. Dr. Hawkins, treasurer. Transparency and trust, just like my granddad wanted. We started a legal defense fund, a scholarship, even an annual conservation festival, neighbors coming together for the right reasons, not because some dictator told them to. My dock's still here, still private, but now it's a gathering place for real community. No more scams, no more drama. And me, I became an HOA ombudsman. Help other folks fight back against predators like Veronica. Testified before the state legislature about HOA reform. Even got a book deal. Turns out people love a good David versus Goliath story. But the real win is this: sitting here knowing we protected our legacy, our families, and maybe made it a little harder for the next crook to steal someone's dreams. So what about you? Ever dealt with a neighbor who crossed the line, or a HOA president who thought they were above the law? Drop your wildest story below. I read them all, and trust me, I'll reply to the craziest. And hey, subscribe for more tales where the little guy wins, because justice, well, it tastes like coffee and smells just like honeysuckle at dawn.